The movie begins with a man named Teodoro, the owner of a highly successful and popular tomato ketchup company, giving a tour of his tomato production to a group of people. Teodoro is affectionately known as the Tomato King due to his reputation for producing high-quality tomatoes. During the tour, he discusses a new campaign initiated by his son and surprises the group by revealing a fountain filled with tomato sauce, in which his son is playfully involved with a woman. The story then shifts back in time to Teodoro's son waking up in bed with a woman whose name he can't recall. After checking his wallet to identify her, he heads downstairs for breakfast with his father. It becomes apparent that they share a close relationship, and even the housekeeper is fond of the son. The son appears quite spoiled, even complaining about a broken egg yolk, which the housekeeper offers to replace. The son then requests a favor from the housekeeper's son, Igor, to handle the situation with the woman in his room, as he seems unable to deal with it himself. Teodoro inquires if the woman is Layla from the previous day, but the son corrects him, saying her name is Anna. Meanwhile, the story introduces Paula, a dedicated medical student living in Rio de Janeiro with her roommates, Rosia and Katya. Paula is eager for an internship, despite some reluctance from her friends, especially Katya, who is focused on her upcoming bachelorette party. Rosia agrees to attend the internship due to her attendance record, and Paula's friends tease her about Dr. Victor, who seems to favor her. Igor goes to wake Anna and offers her a ride downstairs, while Teodoro advises his son to mature and meet him later at his office to discuss his birthday plans at the hospital. Dr. Victor appreciates Paula's work and offers her a chance to assist in surgery. Paula agrees, hoping it will secure her residency. However, the doctor's intentions become clear when he hints at favoritism, leading to Paula's humiliation. She leaves the hospital, meeting her friends at the bus terminal and expressing her desire to advance based on merit rather than favoritism. The story then returns to Teodoro, who is lounging by the pool. He tries to engage Igor, who declines to hang out, citing the need to study. Teodoro proposes a bet, a wrestling match with the stipulation that the loser must obey the winner's commands. As expected, Teodoro wins and takes Igor for a ride. Later, Igor wishes to return home to study, but Teodoro reminds him of the bet, and Igor must choose his birthday present with him. They test drive an impressive car and encounter Paula and her friends on a bus to the Tomato Festival. The rich kids in their fancy cars provoke mockery from the bus passengers. Teodoro's speeding catches the attention of a policewoman who searches him and allows him to go only on the condition that she is invited to his birthday party. Igor later remarks on Teodoro's reputation with women. Teodoro and his son then meet to discuss the possibility of the son receiving a new car. However, Teodoro surprises him by offering him a job at his company instead. Though disappointed, the son agrees. Teodoro introduces Monique, a junior executive, and instructs his son to learn from her. During their conversation, Igor playfully distracts Monique. When Monique becomes irritated, the son, assuming they had a previous relationship, invites her to join him later in his suite to celebrate his birthday. Monique rolls her eyes at his behavior and returns to her work. That night, an electronic and country music festival called Festa Dotomate takes place. Teto is celebrating his birthday, while Paula and her friends are celebrating Tatya's bachelorette party. Igor arrives at Teto's party but is stopped by security as his name isn't on the list. He calls Teto, who eventually lets him in. Igor is upset about not being on the list, but Teto brushes it off, promising a surprise. Teto introduces Igor to Selma, Igor's crush, but Selma only has eyes for Teto and kisses him in front of Igor. Hurt, Igor walks away, and Teto follows him. Teto defends himself, stating he can't control who likes him, but Igor asserts himself as Teto's only true friend, suggesting others are merely interested in his name, status, and money. Teto removes his name tag and expensive jacket to prove a point, then proceeds to enjoy the festival. During the festival, a truckload of tomatoes is distributed for a tomato fight. Inadvertently, Teto throws a tomato at Paula, prompting her to confront him. However, when she turns back to her friends, they are harassed by some men. Paula tries to intervene but gets caught, and Teto steps in, resulting in him being punched. The men recognize Teto and leave, not wanting trouble. Paula and her friends help Teto, who has a bleeding nose. They head to a quieter place, and Teto complains about the pain. Paula calms him down and sets his nose. Teto asks if it's revenge for the tomato incident, but Paula clarifies she's angrier at those who use tomatoes for a fight instead of helping the needy. Paula's friends leave to meet Katya's cousin, while Paula stays to tend to Teto. Teto takes Paula to a greenhouse to wash off the blood. There, he lies about being the caretaker's son, realizing her disdain for the rich misusing their wealth. He tries to kiss her and arrange a date, but she politely declines, opting to meet her friends. The next morning, Tato's father gives him the car he wanted, and Teto is pleased to start earning his own money. Teto approaches Igor to apologize and share his plans to go to Rio. He proposes swapping identities to apply for the trainee program at his father's company, emphasizing that he wants to be chosen for his work, not his name. Igor agrees and asks what the bet is this time. Teto suggests that if Igor wins, he can have Tato's car and also tells Igor about Paula. They go to Rio, and Teto decides to attend the wedding of Paula's friend at the last minute. He swaps his expensive suit for a janitor's outfit and surprises Paula. As they talk about his pursuit of dreams, Dr. Victor arrives and attempts to take Paula away, not taking Teto seriously. Paula, fed up with his behavior, returns to Teto, and they share a passionate kiss. Paula suggests they leave, and they head to the beach. Teto continues to share stories of his hardships with Paula, who admires his determination. The next day, Igor and Teto arrive at the Transcaso office in the city and encounter Monique, who informs them that she has been fired as the trainee program begins. Teto and Igor introduce themselves to each other. The managing director instructs Solana, the talent consultant, to keep an eye on the president's son due to his reputation for carelessness. As Igor works diligently, Teto struggles with menial tasks given to him by Alana, such as making coffee and printing papers. Helpless, Teto seeks Monique's assistance, and she agrees to meet him. He drives over to her house, which is located in a poor neighborhood. Teto stands out like a sore thumb due to his attitude and expensive car at Monique's house. He asks Monique to help him get the position through effort, not privilege, as she did. Monique mentions a high fee, but Teto doesn't want to ask his father for money. Monique shares her own concerns, such as feeding a baby, finding a job, and seeking a doctor for her sister. Teto asks Paula to visit Monique's sister, and Paula agrees, planning to get some tests done. During Paula's visit, Monique asks for medicine, but Paula reveals she isn't a doctor. Monique takes Teto outside and berates him. Teto defends Paula's abilities and offers her a deal. He'll help her get the position at Transcaso if she helps him, and if she agrees, he'll give her his car, otherwise, it goes to his friend. Paula arrives and informs Monique that she's scheduled appointments for her sister at the hospital. On their way back, Teto thanks Paula and asks her out, to which she agrees. Early the next morning, Monique wakes Teto and urges him to get to the office early to stand out. Teto arrives at the office early and tries to fix the printer by reading the manual. He attempts to be efficient but is berated by Alana, who tells him to shred everything. Monique advises him to stand out by coming up with an impressive campaign and asks for his advice on impressing Paula. Teto shares the lies he's been telling Paula, and Monique helps him by suggesting a club to take her to and teaching him some dance moves. Teto's date with Paula goes very well, and they end up spending the night together. The next morning, Teto feels content and happy. At a meeting, Teto proposes his ad campaign idea of a tomato sauce fountain, which Alana scoffs at. She prefers Igor's idea of a tomato mascot, but the managing director likes Teto's idea as well, and both campaigns are approved. That night, Alana invites Igor to her place, and they become romantically involved. Meanwhile, Teto and Paula continue to spend time together. The next day, Teto receives a scolding from Alana for being late, while Igor creates a prototype for Teto's fountain idea. Teto and Igor figure out how Teto can attend Paula's graduation party and a business meeting with his father, which happen simultaneously. Teto manages to pull it off by switching clothes and running between the two events. However, Teto unknowingly drinks a spiked drink intended for Dr. Victor, which makes him act erratically during a clothing swap with Igor. Teto's father discovers them in their underwear and storms off, misunderstanding the situation. When Teto tries to reconcile with Paula, she has already learned the truth from Anna and refuses to see him. The next day, Teto has a falling out with his father and goes to stay with Monique. He tries to apologize to Paula, but it's too late as she's leaving for a volunteering program in the Amazon. On the day of the announcement of the junior executive position, both Teto and Igor won. During a speech, Igor reveals their entire plan to the audience, and Teto apologizes to Monique for her job loss. Alana chases after Teto, Monique, and Igor explain the situation to her. Alana admits that she has genuinely fallen for Igor, not his money. Teto is in a dilemma because he promised his car to both Monique and Igor. He decides to sell the car and use the money to start a project with Igor and Monique. A year later, Teto comes to Monique's house and is surprised with a birthday party. He's made friends in the community and reconciled with his father. Paula also arrives, having heard about the project. Teto shows her the project, which gives residents the chance to grow premium organic tomatoes on rooftops to earn extra income. Paula is delighted, and Teto thanks her, as she's the reason he learned to live differently. They share a kiss as the camera zooms out to show other rooftops, and this is where the movie ends. Thanks for watching.